Be mindful that no one else knows what's going on in your body. No one else knows how you feel today. You're the master. So as we move through these experiences today, and I guide you through it, if you need to sit down and just focus on your breath, you're still participating. The breath is key to connecting you with your chi, or what we call the life force energy that's within you. And that's the energy that shamans have used around the world for healing other people. It's the energy we each have within us, that when we direct that energy inward, it can enhance our own healing. So never doubt the mysteries and the magnificence of that miracle that you're living inside. So we'll start today with a little bit of shaking. I have my chair behind me. I'm going to move into it just to do a demo. I'm going to go back and forth between standing and sitting. You're going to do what feels good for you this morning. Remember, take this at a pace that works for you, okay? So we'll start with shaking the tree. It's spring out there. It's a little chilly. If you're feeling chilled, or maybe you had that second vaccine and it left you feeling chilly, that's normal too, I hear. So this will help warm you up. So if you're in a chair, sit forward and practice lifting and dropping your shoulders. And if you're able, you want to flick your hands at the end. But if you stop lifting and dropping the shoulders just to flick your hands, then we're not lifting. I'm not doing this. It's coming from the shoulders. The hands are connected and moving because the shoulders are moving. And I'm just putting a little flick on the end of my hands like I am shaking something off. If you're standing with us, feet are underneath your hips. And we're going to add a long exhale. If I'm moving too fast, slow it to a pace that works for you. Make sure you open your mouth. So when you're exhaling, you're letting go of all your body wants to get rid of today. So my arms are just a little, they're not close to my body. I have them out a little bit. Do one more long exhale. And now slow it down. Eyes are closed. Either lay your hands at your abdomen or simply bend your wrists so your palms are facing the floor. Take a moment. Notice how your body's feeling, if you're experiencing any tingling. Now we're going to do a little bit of cloud hands. So I can do this in the chair with you. I'm going to start standing since I'm already here, and then I'll switch back. Basically, you're just using your hands, and one hand's going to come across. So we start like we have a ball. The wrist begins the movement. I don't come up any higher than shoulder height. I'm going to keep my hands parallel as if there is a ball. And as one comes down, this time we're going to turn it toward the earth. You can keep your palm up. You're going to do what feels right for you. We're going to shift over, and we're going to swing back and forth. So rotate the ball, slide it across that shoulder height, rotating the hands so the palms stay parallel, just shift. So keep going. If I'm in a chair, I can do the same thing. I'm going to leave my legs wide. Arms going to come across the body. Go slow, remember? It's easy to go fast. Let's see how slow you can make your breath. So concentrate on your breath. Look at your hands. Pick one finger on each hand that you're going to concentrate on. Why do we put our mind in the palm? So that our mind is connected with our movement. And this way, it creates a moving meditation, which is what Qigong is intended to be. It's the root of Tai Chi. Again, if you're able to stand, this allows you to shift a little more. So we have this wide stance. Let your hips move with the palms. Lighten up your expression. You're in the clouds, you're moving the clouds. So think about how slow those clouds go across the sky. We're not bringing in a storm. We're enjoying a spring day. We'll do one more to the other side. We're going to do a little transition. We're going to take this ball up over your head and then turn your palms toward your head. And we're not going to touch the body, we're just coming down in front of the body. So let's complement that move with a little brushing. So we're going to go down the meridians. So I'm going to lean into one leg and then slide the hand down the opposite side of the body. So again, on the side, I'm shifting. My hand is brushing in front of the body, but it's not touching the body. There's a space. And I'm simply shifting just as you did before. Sinking into one leg, so the other leg is empty. And one leg is substantial while the other leg is empty. You don't have to lift your foot off the ground. I'm just showing you that we're shifting the weight. Both feet should stay planted to the ground, even though one is completely empty. Sink down with your exhale. Inhale, lift the hand up. Shift over, exhale. Press that all the way down into the earth. So we're going very slowly. Breathe in. Long breath. When you hit the top, exhale. Feel that energy moving down into the ground. Spring, if you're planting anything in your yard or even a little container garden, maybe a window box, think of your exhale as the fertilizer. You're enhancing the earth by letting go of what your body doesn't need so it can use it. Gives us more space to store that pure oxygen that our body can use. We'll do one more on each side. And if you're in a chair, you're doing the same movement. And now we're going to scoop up. So reach down as much as you can. And pulling up the energy from the earth. Or a big bunch of flowers. Bring it up. And again, turn the palms toward the head. Exhale. Slowly down the body. Now step in for a moment. Hands over your abdomen, close your eyes. Our goal with this pausing is that we are enhancing that life energy in our abdomen. We're also taking a moment to check in, to see how you're feeling. Notice your breathing. If you're feeling a little lightheaded or dizzy, lengthen your breath. So next, let's do a little bit for the neck and shoulders to make sure we're opening the meridians. We're going to clear out some tension in the body. We're going to start with your hands wide open. And again, you could be in a chair. If you need to sit down, I'm just going to go back and forth to demo. Hands are down, fingers are wide. Squeeze your shoulder blades in. So I'm doing this just to make sure the front of my body is open. And then lower your elbows down. And with your fingers spread apart, like they're reaching down into the earth like roots, lift your chin so it's parallel to your shoulder and turn your head. Feel free to open your mouth. Back, and now turn your head in the other direction. Bring your head back. Close your fingers. Roll your little finger side up. Turn your head over your shoulder. Reach down through the opposite arm. So we're going to try to keep those arms out. Remember, you have an egg under your armpit, so your arms are away from your body. Teeth are separated. Our breath is coming through our nose. If you have a little bit of sinus issues, try breathing in through the nose and open your mouth with your exhale. Now gently roll your head in front of the shoulder. Keep stretching down through the arms. Bring the head over the shoulders and let it sink behind the head. And bring it back over top. Roll it once again in front of the shoulder. And then gently bring your chin in close to your body. Roll your head in front of the other shoulder. So we're going to come across the front of the body. The hands are still sinking down. Bring the ear over top of the shoulder, nice and slow. We're examining and assessing where you're holding on to tension. Your head fall behind the shoulder. Gently roll front to back, nice and slow. Again, you're determining where there might be any dis-ease. If it feels really tight, you are going to pause there. Lift your ribs so you're not sinking down into the spine. Keep your spine long. Once again, bring your head in front of the body toward the other shoulder. We're going to roll all the way back, lifting the chin. Again, if you have vertigo, you are going to adjust for your body. And then release your arms. Lay your hands in your lap, or if you're standing, again, at your abdomen. moment to notice how your neck and shoulders feel. It's a very nice, easy way to get rid of the tension. Now, if you're in a chair for this next movement, I want you to move to the side of your chair and let one leg hang down. So you're opening up your groin area. Okay? The rest of us that are standing, come next to your chair or counter or hold on to a wall, whatever is nearby. And we're going to do a little bit of leg swinging. So the leg that's closest to the chair is going to be your substantial leg, and the other leg will be empty. And as we move our leg front and back, I want you to think about touching your toes if you need to for balance. Most importantly, I want you to think of yourself as a tree. So lift up through your spine, nice and tall. And we're going to let that leg swing like it's on a swing set. Loose and free. And again, you can touch the toe in the front and the back if you need to. If you're able to hold on and swing the leg, flex your foot. And if you want to let go of the chair, then the arm goes back as the leg goes forward. We're reversing the arm and leg. So they are moving against each other. Or your leg is just hanging off the chair, opening up that lymph nodes. Now we're gonna sink into that leg, switch sides. So again, if you're in a chair, you're gonna slide the other leg over and let this part of your leg open up. So the more you can hang off the side of the chair, you could also do some tapping while we're doing this part. So you get some blood flowing into that area. Of course, while you're standing, you could also do the tapping, but giving a little massage. And if you're able to let go with your arm, then it adds a balance element to it. But that's an option, not a requirement. Remember, there's always one side that's easier than the other. There's always one day that's better than the other too. Find something that doesn't move, and remember to touch your toe when you need to. So you're not limiting yourself. And then flex your foot, and let's sink down. Take a little moment. We're going to knock on the door of life. So in a chair, you're going to modify and tap. So we're tapping mid-back below the rib cage, and we're tapping on the front where the hip bone, there's two bones. We want to be in that crevice between the two. Bent knees, your hips are moving. That's why the shoulders are moving. So start first with those knees bent. And remember, if you are of a certain generation, you grew up with the bump dance. So pretend you're doing the bump. You bump your bestie friend. I hope somebody knows what that is out there. Okay, and now let's tap. This tapping can be light if you have a tender area. Any little bit helps. The more you're able to tap, just do what feels right for you today. Again, this can be done every day. It helps to energize your body. You go fast or slow. We're going to do a little more knocking after this, so take a minute to slow this down. And again, if you want to sit for the next one, you can. So you can go back and forth or not. We're going to tap on the wrist. So I'm going to do the inside and the outside, or you could switch and do one of both. Just make sure you do both sides, okay? So this tapping at the wrist, again on these points, inside or outside first. So we're going to start here. These are acupuncture points, and we're tapping the inner gate, which is what balances emotions, and the outer gate balances immunity. We want to do both, right? So first we'll start with tapping, and you know, for your own well-being, doing this every day, perfectly fine. There's no negative side effects. If you get bruises, you're tapping too hard. You could sit in front of a clock and time yourself so that you know that you're giving yourself a certain amount of time, the same on each side, or maybe a little extra on the back side. So let's switch to the back. You have on a wristwatch, be careful. Good. And now, let's shake out your fingers. And you're gonna imagine you're the branches of a tree, so shake the fingers and the wrist. Come all the way to the top. Big exhale. You can pretend you're at a concert, moving your hands up in the air. Crowds roaring. Hi. Say hi to your neighbors out the window. Let them know you're excited to see them. Good. All right. And now again, just turn your wrist, bend wrist, palms to the floor, close your eyes for a moment. Arms are away from your body. Aware of the warmth in your palm. Notice how your palms are feeling. If you're feeling a little tingling, that's great. You energize the palms, so that's what we want for our own healing. Now we're going to do a little bit of work. We'll sit down in a moment. If you need to sit down, you are perfectly allowed to do that. Remember, you're the master of your body. Put your hands on your hips, bend your knees. So before we did the bump, and if you're in a chair and you're sitting forward, you can still do part of this with us. Just rotate in a big circle. Imagining that you have a hula hoop that you're circling around with your hips. If you're not a hula hoop fan, imagine there's a compass and we're rotating around the globe, okay? So there's a couple ways to think about this. Go in the other direction. So we're going to work on these joints and we're going to add our arm. And we're going to serve a little tea. If you're in a chair, you can do this with us. So I'm going to come up in the chair to show you the arms. I'm going to grab my teacups. You do not need them. I'm using them so that you can see that this is how your hands are positioned. We want them always facing the sky. And this wraps the tendon around the bones. So when you're turning your arm, you don't spill your tea. It's a very awkward move, but you can see the benefit of leaving your fingers facing up. So that's why I'm using the cup. Otherwise, think of your thumb. That's the key tendon that we want to keep facing up. So when that thumb is facing up, the whole palm stays to the sky. And you won't spill your tea. So if you have cups at home, go ahead and get them, but you don't need them. So I'm doing this in a chair. If you're standing, you can use your whole body, but this allows you to see how to do it in a chair and get your arm movements a little better. Slide back, straight back. It's like a straight line. Now curl your wrist, curl the shoulder. So you're gonna hunch your back. Bring your elbow forward. Lift the elbow up into the sky. Big circle. So even in a chair, you're going to need to move your body around in a circle. So that's why we don't sit back. Slide the elbow back. Curl the wrist. Curl the shoulder. Think of a bird wing, right? You have that bird wing look. Lift the elbow up. Circle in front of your body and all the way around. Bring the cup forward. Slide it straight back. Roll the shoulder forward. Bring the elbow forward. Circle into the sky. Exhale, slide back. Inhale, lift up. Bring your teacup forward. Exhale. So it's a long, slow breath. If you need to take extra breaths, there's nothing wrong with that. Practice keeping it slow. And here we are opening up the lymph nodes underneath the arm and through the chest. Getting that circulation flowing through the glands, as well as lubricating our joints. Let's go in the other direction. Serve tea, the wide circle of friends that you have. Bring your arm behind you so it's back, right? And then I'm going to, I'm bending the elbow so I can circle it up overhead. Bring it forward. Lower your cup. Curl your wrist. Slide forward. Lift up. Big circle. Grab all of your friends. Then it's behind you. It's overhead. You're lowering it down. I'm in a squeaky chair today. If you hear squeaking, that's what's going on this end. Inhale, lift up. Exhaling on the lower part. Inhale, lift up. This will be our last circle on this side. So again, you're doing your range of motion, and if you have injury or surgery, do what you can. Always do what you can. And if there's something going on with your wrist today, just remember, think of the shoulder. Get what's going on with your palm. Breathe in, lift up. Exhale. Roll forward, inhale, lift up. Exhale. Curling, lift up on the inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. So we are last one in this direction. So we do the rest. We know when to take that pause. Good. Now we're here and we're going to go in reverse. So swing it out. You're making all your friends. It's going to come behind you. Circle over your head. And the shoulder rolls forward so I can keep that cup facing up. It's all in the shoulder. So it's the movement's coming from the spine, right? Remember our tree of life. Spine is the beginning. Fingers are the end of that movement. Breathe in. And breathe out. Inhale. Nice job. If you spill in your tea, remember you have endless refills. Good. All right. Next, we're going to do both hands. So even if you're not able to do a lot, just practicing part of the movements will help lubricate your joints. So I'll do one here in the chair and then I'll stand up. It is a little easier to have that bigger range of motion. But start, your arms are gonna cross, whether you're standing or sitting, cross without touching, okay? Slide straight back, curl the wrist, roll the shoulders, bring your elbows forward, lift your elbows up, tuck under your tailbone, cross your arms, and bring your arms forward. And that's the move. So if you're standing, it's a little easier, but obviously not necessary. Curl. The more you bend through the knees and the hips and the spine, the easier the movement is. So go for it. Feel your spine opening up. Breathe in as you lift up. Exhale. Curl. Inhale, opening the heart and lungs. Exhale, open the spine, the kidneys. And as we're making this bending, we're giving a massage to the spleen and the pancreas and the liver. Breathe in. Exhale. Breathe in. Breathe out. And now let's reverse. So I'm going to start right here with your wrist out. Curl them forward, cross over. Breathe in. Open your heart to the sky. Roll. Exhale. Very slow. I want you to too, as much as you're able. Inhale. Follow one of your teacups or your palms. Now change your eye to the other side for 2 rounds. Just practice. It's okay if you mess up. And bring your legs together. Take a moment to notice how your joints are feeling. Lay your hands at your abdomen. Find your breath. Take a moment with your feet apart again. Empty your arms out to the side. We're going to do a little bit of movement, front and back on the feet. So I have a wide leg stance. And from the side, you feel your weight in the heels of your feet. Lift all of your toes up. Spread them out, lay them down. Shift forward so you're leaning into the balls of the feet. And then sink back. And that's all we're going to do in the beginning. And as I lean forward, arms are limp. Like you're not holding on, you're no effort. That's our big motto, no effort. So as I lean, my arms are like a pendulum on a string. And I'm just keeping everything empty. So I'm exaggerating this movement so you are able to understand that we're not trying to make it happen, we're letting it happen. There's a little space between your fingers. As we rock, I want you to bring your attention to the bottom of your feet. Very nice movement. You can see you're doing a great job. Now bring your attention to that space between your fingers. Can you feel any air moving between your fingers? And if you want to try this with your eyes closed, just notice, stay close to something if you need to grab on, or leave your eyes open but down. Cast your eyes down. toward the earth. It's a grounding practice. And then full attention to your breath. Maybe you sped up a little bit. Fully empty before you begin that inhale. Very nice. Now this time we're going to add some effort, a little bit of effort. But everything is still empty. We're going to begin to move with our wrists. I'm just going to lift them up to your hips, no higher than your hips, and let them sink back. So imagine your palms are laying on a wave, and it's just lifting them up gently. And as the wave goes out, the hands sink back. Feel that wave gently lifting the wrist, sink back. Take that from the side. We're going to come a little higher, just above your waist, or maybe not the hip bones, but only the waist. One more. Stay with it. Remember, our goal here is to slow ourselves down. The more we're able to do that, the more we can bring our mindfulness into our body and listen to what it's saying to us today. Again, hands at your heart, take a moment. Now we're going to do a little bit in the chair. We'll do some tapping, and you can do this standing or in the chair. I'll stand today because I've been in the chair a little more, but in your chair, one hand, you'll be using your fist, your fingers, or open palm tapping. You can slap if you like. It's as hard as it feels comfortable for you. Start at the side of your neck. Go down the side of your arm. If your hand is compromised, you could use a little tool. If you have a wooden spoon in your kitchen, that will be a modification that you could use, tapping lightly. We use wooden tools for the muscles, or the tendons, I'm sorry. So this tapping that we are doing stimulates circulation at the skin level. Do all four sides of your arm. Come into the palm. And again, in the center, take a knuckle and rotate into the center of the palm. And you can use your knuckles to press out or start with your thumb. Again, if that's tender, or if you have a wooden spoon. I don't know. Today I have rings on, so you have to work around those little things that get in the way. Rotate. Start at the bottom of each finger and a pinch at the end. Start in the center of the palm and work toward each finger. So if you're struggling with neuropathy, these are good exercises. We've shaken the hands. Now we're massaging the hands. All of this helps to bring blood into the fascia, which is what starts to dehydrate, and you have a lot of chemicals going through your body right now. So all of these postures and movements that we are doing help to flush the toxins out of the body. If you think of a stagnant body of water, it grows all kinds of algae. So in our body, because we have so much water within our body, we want to keep it fluid and moving. Pinch at the end of each finger. And then go to the other side. So start at the top, tapping down the side of the neck. I'm going to tap up into the deep bends. That's the elbows, armpits. Back in the middle, so we're using the knuckles in the middle of the palm. Again, coming up just so you're just watching from home for the first time, you're not totally bored and lost. Start at the bottom, come up and wiggle and pinch each finger. So you're doing the front, the top, bottom, and sides. Start in the middle. Pinch. If you're feeling any tenderness, just remember that that area is asking for a little extra attention, so later you can give it to it. Go all the way around that thumb joint. It's a big one, so be sure to get all the way to the base. I'm going to give a quick review for headache points right here while we're here. So take the thumb of the opposite hand, lay it in the netting webbing of between your index finger and thumb, bend the finger. So we're at the knuckle bend of the thumb, bend the thumb over and rotate into that point. If it's really sore, tender, and you have a tendency to get headaches, this is the point to rub. And you do this on both sides. So go to the other hand if you haven't transitioned yet to that headache point. And now we're going to take your hand and we're going to tap underneath your collarbone. So tap under the collarbone, that's a lung point. Lift the arm up to the best of your ability. Come under the armpits. Again, you can change whether you're tapping with your knuckles, fingertips, or open hand. Down the side of the ribs. Front of the chest. Tap at the center, a little lighter. This is the thymus, so we're strengthening our immune system. Switch hands, go again underneath the collarbone. So tapping right under the collarbone is that lung point. Still a lot of COVID hanging around, so keep tapping in that area. You can do your Tarzan or Tarzwoman, I don't know, the Jane. Make your sounds as you're tapping on the chest. Come under your armpit, down on the side of the ribs. Come down the front of your chest. Use both hands for this, fingertips, knuckles, whatever works for you. Then we're going to lean forward and reach up. So again, if you have a wooden spoon, doesn't work. Tap, a whisk broom. So we're going to start in the middle. We're going to go close to the spine. Go into the middle, to the outside. And then open palm, snap out your shoulder blades. Both sides. And now we're going to come down to your hip bone. So you could use one or both hands. And again, we're tapping in the hip bone. Come across to your groin, so where that knee bends. And again, if you are in a chair, that's perfectly fine. You're going to stay on the side of the chair. Just drop that leg down so you can tap in the groin, what we call the quad. We want to really open this area because when we sit all the time, it's compressed. So just hanging your leg over the side of the chair gets the blood moving in through these lymph nodes, which are really important. There's a lot of arteries that carry blood all the way to our feet, which we need to carry us forward in this path we're on. Today, let's go to the back. Remember, you're in a chair, you're just rotating around. Be sure to get your glute like you're tapping or smacking yourself from underneath the glute to the back of the leg. Do really well behind the knee. Side of the leg. Front of the leg. And the inside of the leg. And go to the other side. So start up at the hip bone, go to the groin. Take your time, slide to the other side of your chair. If you're in one. Come around to the glute. Make sure you tap the tailbone. It is the beginning of your nervous system. It's the first part of our body that forms. Underneath the glutes, down the back of your leg, behind the knee. Down toward the ankle. Again, you can use both or one hand. Outside of the leg. There's no wrong. You can do the inside before the outside, the front before the back. Just do all four sides so you get a nice massage. Before we do our hands and our head, we're going to sweep. So brush down. And again, if you own one of those brushes that you use in the shower, oh my God, that's such a nice feeling on the skin. You can use that brush as well to the side of your body, in the back of your body. And inside of the legs. Now I'm going to come up again to be close to you. And we're going to do a little bit of tapping to the head. So use just your fingertips. And we're going to tap. So lift your chin. Like raindrops. Part your teeth. Come around the outside of your face. Go onto the forehead. Side of the head, so I'm doing both sides simultaneously. If it feels tender, again, try to do this more than just when we are here together. Tap at the top. You'll feel like you're in a rainstorm. And then we're going to go behind the head, so tilt your chin in. Come up the back of the neck. And then come back to the front of your face and come back. So we're using your fingertips like tiger claw hands is what it's called. Just brush back. Now we're going to go to our feet. So if you are unable to cross your legs like this, and that's perfectly okay, what I encourage you to do is to get a dryer ball or a tennis ball. If you have a dryer ball with a little prickly part on it, that's really helpful for fasciitis. And we are going to put circulation in the feet. So anything that works for you is what we're going to use as a modification. Take your socks off, examine those beautiful feet you've been given. Take your pincher fingers, and again, if those are tendon issues and your hands aren't really working, use your knuckles, because that will work too. And just rotate with you the knuckles of your hand on the points. Keep your hands parallel to each other so that you're doing both sides simultaneously. So we'll start at the heels, and again, you could be using your pincher fingers. So this is the prostate uterus area, uterine glands in the here. You're gonna go up the side of the foot, massaging, and then start at the top of the foot and press it down, like you're going into the soft spots between each toe. Press down and rub out. And then we're going to come into the bottom of the foot and we're going to use the knuckle again. And this place where the foot curls in, it's called the bubbling well. Use your knuckle or elbow and rotate into this point. Now using your thumbs, go from the heel toward the ball of the foot, go all the way across the bottom of the foot. There's more than one way to skin a cat, as they say. These are just ways that we do as a traditional way of getting many of the points. Use your tiger claw hand, pull the toes back, and rub at the base of the toes. So my hand is cupping over the ball of my foot so I can kind of squish like I'm squeezing a stress ball. And then once again, pinch your fingers, start at the little toe or any toe, just do all of them. You're going to be wiggling top, bottom, and sides, starting at the base of each toe and giving a little pinch at the end of each toe. And if you struggle, maybe you have cold hands and feet, this is a really nice way with the shaking that we did earlier. Help put some blood into these tissues. Wiggle and pinch. Now thread your fingers through each toe. Like you're holding your foot, rotate your ankle. Go in the other direction. Rub your hands together. Scrub the top and the bottom of your foot. And that foot's going to feel pretty invigorated by this point, so we're going to switch to the other side. Remember, there's no negative impact. You can do these every day. People pay others to give a massage. You can do these things at home and enjoy the pleasure of knowing that you're able to help yourself through your recovery and beyond. So we're using pincher fingers again, or the knuckles. So let one hand support the other. And if it feels a little tender or odd, go back and spend extra time in it. If you're a woman that is cycling the period of the month where you're cycling, then this area is going to be a little more tender. It's normal. Start at the heel, press up. And across the top of the foot. Then come to the bubbling well point. So use your thumb, knuckle, or elbow. Press into that point. Pull the toes back. Use your tiger claw hands. Massage the base of the toe. Use your pincher fingers, and again, starting at the bottom, wiggle, and pinch. Go through each one. When you're finished, take your fingers and thread them between the toes. You might have to talk to it to get them there. Rotate your ankle and go in the other direction. Remember, no matter how much you do with us today, it all counts. It all counts. Now we're going to rub the top and bottom of the foot. Now we're going to rub our palms together and get them nice and warm. And I'm going to move just a little closer again so you can see what I'm doing. So let me modify. Now my palms are going to face my face without touching. So it is hoovering over top. I'm moving so you can see what I'm doing. With your palms facing your face, move them in and out gently, pulsing. And now sweep them up, very little circles, maybe about the size of a tennis ball. Up and out, slowly. Make a little bigger circle, starting at the chin, sweeping up and out. Do one more round. And rub your palms together once more. It's a nice way to help change your mood. Palms face each other. Take this moment to play with that little sense of energy. Feel the ions in between your palms. So they're not really touching. Imagine there's a ball that you're squeezing. Play with it. This is a little reminder that we are energy beings having a human experience. When we let go of all that dis-ease and tension in our body, it invites us to open up to that sense of emptiness, which is really full of life. So we empty the stress, invite in that healing power. So close your eyes, and for a moment with this ball, I want you to imagine that as you're breathing in, That ball is directing inward for your own healing. And you can choose to either sustain the ball here or to turn your palms into a part of your body where you would like to direct that energy. And if you think that this is like not worth anything, then you're a doubter. It's okay. You don't have to always feel it to know that it's working. It's like our eyelids blinking without us telling them to, or our heart pumping on its own. There's little miracles that we can't explain. So bring your palms together, closing off your heart meridian, sealing that energy of the heart within you, turning the qualities of the heart of joy and compassion and contentment into your own body. And just as that energy that we were feeling between our palms is something that you may not understand or be able to explain, let's just honor that perfect miracle that you've been given to live in. Knowing that every day you've been granted the ability to think on your own and choose a path that you're walking on right now. So as you move forward every day in your journey, each way that you participate in turning that healing inward is helping your own healing. Thank you so much for being with me this morning. It was my joy and my honor. I hope to see you next week or Thursday at 9 o'clock. Have a great week.